Shalom. I'd like to start this lesson by saying Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakat Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going to be titled, All the Foundations of the Earth Are Out of Course. And, this could pretty much go anywhere. There's so many things you can talk about when it comes to the earth being out of course, out of balance, with lack of direction. Especially right now, I think there was some shootings, I believe in Milwaukee. Could be wrong, but some militia, and this is part of the prophecy, two sides, two nations, picking up their swords. But that's not what we're going to talk about. That's just a whole different subject. But just in general, you got pedophilia, you have the earth, like the ecosystem, you have transgenders, or owls, owls and moles, right? You have pedophiles, and they're trying to normalize pedophilia as a normal thing. This place is messed up. It needs to go. But we're going to talk about Israel, because Israel's out of course, right? This is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai's people. So we're going to start off at Psalms 82, 5. Psalms 82 and 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Right? And Israel, because we're talking about Israel, we can talk about Edomites, but we're not going to talk about them. Just Israel. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. The 2/3, they don't know anything. And you try to tell them, they don't want to understand it. They're so far gone. They're so far gone that they don't even want to understand. He's like, yeah. You tell them not to eat pork. It's like, yeah. I want to go make my pork chops. Yeah, whatever you say, man. But it tastes so good. Why shouldn't I eat it? It tastes so good. Even though there is even health reasons why you shouldn't be eating pork. This is one example, right? They walk on in darkness. Yeah, they walk in darkness because they're blind. They can't see. They don't have the light. They're not illuminated. All the foundations of the earth are out of course, right? And Israel's, we're the ones that are supposed to be saying the laws, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai gave us the laws to govern this planet. Now, it was given into the wicked, right? Which is the Edomites, Idumea, Edom, Esau. So they're in rulership right now, which is why everything's out of course. But, Israel is supposed to know better, but they don't. And there's a precept, so we're going to start off. We're going to go to Micah 3. I'm going to read this whole chapter. We'll try and not make this long. And I said, hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel. Is it not for you to know judgment? Is it not for you to know judgment? You're supposed to know judgment, right? It was given to you. The law, statutes, and commandments was given to Israel to know right from wrong. Verse 2, who hate the good and love evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them into pieces as for the pot and as the flesh with the cauldron. This is like a twofold scripture right here. Because who hate the good and love the evil. So right there, The good are the prophets of Yahweh Shem Shai. You know, if you want to talk about the ones teaching the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai being the proper names, right? We're talking about just Great Millstone. You know, Israel, the 2/3 of Israel, they hate those men, those prophets, those seers that are speaking those names. They coming up against them, you know. But when it comes to the ones that are evil, that are speaking against those names, like for example, Nate, you know, and IOIC, you know, talking about Christ and Jesus and all that, they love them, you know. They love them, and that's just one example. You know, you have the evangelists that speak Jesus, Christ, Jehovah, all these names, but everyone loves them. Israel loves them. They go pile up into their churches. They're paying all their money, you know, giving all to their offerings, you know. But when it comes to the men of Great Millstone, they're laughed at. They're mocked. You know, you have scoffers and scorners coming up against them. That's okay. That's okay. Because you will know, you will know who the real men of the Lord are, you know. Right, and in verse 3, who eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin off of them and they break their bones. So it's funny, especially these high top celebrities, Israelites that are like high up there, they do those, they go to those Edomite, because first of all, to get up to that level, you have to do things to get up there. You're just not going to get up there because you're just great and you're talented. All of Israel's talented. It's just in us, right? But the ones to get there at that level, they have to do things, sacrifices, you know, all type of demonic stuff, right? You know, Bohemian Grove is one example, right? They do sacrifices there. So a lot of these celebrities, and it just came up not too long ago about the whole drinking of blood and all that stuff. That's why they're able to look young, right? And they're eating people too. So that's why it says twofold. And this also means for slavery, right? So the Israelites. So actually, there's a precept. Psalms 14:4. Psalms 4:24, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat up bread and call not upon the Lord. Slakia. So let's go into that. Okay, so eat.
Strong's H 398. Achel.
Ahel.
Achel.
To eat, devour, burn up, feed. To eat, human subject. To eat, devour beasts of birds. To devour. Okay, so to devour, of oppression. Right? So being oppressed. Right? Who eat my people as they eat up bread and call not upon the Lord. So yeah, Israel's being oppressed. They're being oppressed. We're still slaves right now. We're still under the curses. Now, some of the curses are starting to turn over to on Esau, but we're still under the curses. Right? And we're being oppressed by our own people. That's the whole irony. Right? For example, right, you know what we should do? Let me just go into the word oppression. Persecution. Prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. Prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. Oppression is malicious or unjust treatment or exercise of power, often under the guise of governmental authority or cultural opprobrium. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Oppression may be overt to or covert, depending on how it is practiced. Oppression refers to discrimination when the injustice does not target and may not directly affect everyone in society, but instead targets specific groups of people. Specific groups of people. Interesting. I mean, that is happening with Man of Great Millstone. Speaking his word. But prolonged cruel or unjust treatment of control. So I would say for that, you have it when there's men that know the truth, like Nate, that were actually speaking the truth. His name's Yahweh Shai. And now in his organization that he's in right now, that he has, IOIC, they don't speak on those names. Those names just disappeared. Now it's Christ and Jesus, Christ bless, right? It's prolonged. He's doing it. It's unjust treatment. It's control. It's control of the people. So Nate's being a false prophet, and he knows the names, right? He knows the names. And he's controlling his flock, right? Unjustly, right? Telling them that those are not the names, that we're not going to speak those names are false. Because I don't because Apostle Tahar, Apostle Ramlab, Apostle Gabar, and other apostles, they all know Nate, because Nate was with them, from my knowledge. And, Nate was taught under Apostle Tahar. So Nate knows he knows all the information. He knows all the names. He knows everything. But yet he's not teaching it, right? Because what he's doing is cruel. You're starving. Yahushua said to feed his sheep, right? You have the word, you have the bread, the roll, the water, and you're not giving it to the people. You're starving them. That's cruel, because they don't know. You're not giving them the truth. You're lying. You're being a false prophet. You're oppressing them, right? Just because everyone thinks oppression always comes from the so-called white man, right? Because he's a so-called white man. That's his job. That's just who he is. Of course, he's always going to oppress us. He was made for that. But when Israel's doing it to Israel, yeah, that's messed up. Okay, and Nate's doing that just by not giving the truth of the Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, their names. That's oppression, right? So we're gonna go back. Let's cancel that. We're gonna go back to verse 4. Then shall they cry unto Lord Yahweh, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Yeah, because Yahweh Bashem El Shai, Yahweh is going to hide his face, and one, he's going to hide his face with his men, because the prophets, the famine of the word is going to happen, and we won't be able to go on the streets and and prophesy. There won't be no camps anymore, because martial law will kick in, and we won't be able to do that, any of that. So that's when famine of the world will hit. And then the internet will get locked off, and it's already slowly happening. They're taking out YouTube channels down, where the elders, the apostles, have to go to Daily Motion and other elders. So it's slowly happening. So slowly, the Most High he's going to hide his face, and then boom, his face is going to be gone. You won't be able to find him. So all these people, these 2/3 that were scoffing and scorning, you won't be able to, find the face of the Most High, because he's going to hide his face, because you guys didn't listen. You guys are stiff-necked. You didn't want to listen when he was here. But now when he's gone, that's when you're looking for him. Well, it's too late. It's too late. Verse 5. Thus saith the Lord concerning the prophets that make my people err. So it's Nate. We're going to use Nate because he has the truth. He knows the names. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, peace, And he that putteth not into their mouths, then even prepare war against them. So he's not even putting the food into their mouths. Nate's starving them. They even prepare war against him. Because, I mean, if you're not speaking the names of Yahweh, Yahushai, you're against Yahweh and Yahushai, right? And Yahushai, Yahweh Yahushai is coming back with, through his son Yahushai, to destroy this place. So it's going to be war. So if you're not on his side, you're against him. So you're preparing against him. So that's what Nate's doing by not speaking the names and not, yeah. Like, this is very serious. It's very serious. And I hope, they need to stop. They need to stop doing that. Right? It's very dangerous, playing with hot fire. And that's an understatement. Verse 6, therefore, night shall be unto you, so darkness, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Yeah, you guys won't be able to see anything. Most likely going to take everything away. So there's a precept for that. So that's Isaiah 8 and 20. Oh. Isaiah 8 and 20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. Right? So there you go, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, the truth, the scriptures, it is because there is no light in them. So, I mean, hey, Nate and IOIC and the other camps that are not speaking the word of Yahweh Shem Shai, there's no light in you. Because, I mean, if you're not speaking the full truth, then it's not the truth. Right? It's just that simple. There's no loopholes here for you to slip in and be like, oh, well, I was saying X, Y, and Z. I was saying the chip is this and da-da-da-da. But, the name is Christ and Bless and Caesar Borgia. Right? You need to be speaking the whole truth, so you just need to get on board. Because it's getting serious. We're getting closer. But, Nate's for example, then you have these church pastors that have billions of dollars with jets and stuff like them. Again, them too. The light's not in them because they're not speaking with the testimony of Yahweh Shem Shai. They're speaking against it, right? So they're not right, right? Verse 7, then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of Yahweh. All right? They have nothing to say. Verse 8, but truly I am full of power by the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh, and of judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgressions, and to Israel his sin. Yeah, because that's the job. That's what we're supposed to do. If you're going off, I'm going to tell you you're going off. For example, my family, especially when I first got into the truth and I came back home because I lived abroad, I was a roaring lion. For a while I was told everybody in the truth is like that in the beginning. And you get wise and you can't be like that anymore. But in the beginning, I was telling them like, oh, you can't be eating pork. You can't be doing this. You can't get lineups. You can't be shaving your beard. You can't be shaving your head, Because it was wrong. It's just like, it was wrong. You're not supposed to be doing those things. Right? But, as you get wise, you find out that there's no point. Certain people are just 2/3 and not going to listen. But our job is to consistently want to make videos, you know. Also, when it comes to making videos, you want to make sure you make videos that are edifying. So you just don't want to make a video just to make a video because you know you have to make a video. Because then it's just like, it's going to be vain, right? It's going to be very vain. You just have to ask Yahweh Shem Shai to put a spirit on you to make a video, get a lesson, a title, whatever. And, you know, that's edifying in some way, because you never know. One brother might, even if you don't have a lot of people on your channel, or whatever, one brother might watch it and be like, wow. And then that's all it took for him to, you know, come into the fold. Right? So every video matters. No matter how many, it all matters. Yeah, our job is to exert judgment and declare the Jacob's transgressions and Israel's sins. They need to know what they're doing is wrong, because that's our job. We're supposed to prophesy until Yahweh Shem Shai, you know, puts the family of the word, and that's it. That's it. That's it. It's getting very close. Verse 9, hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob and princes of the house of Israel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. Okay, he's talking to you guys. He's talking to you celebrities, you know. Talking to you camp leaders of different camps outside of GMS that are not teaching the full truth, right? Because of pride, because you're not the one that came up with that breakdown. So I'm not going to teach it because I don't like the brother that, or the apostle that came up with that breakdown, found the information, because I don't believe that the Most High is working with them. You know, that's the pride that goes through their heads. It's just pride. That's all it is. Because logically, it's like, how can you not see what we're saying is the truth? How can you not see that the microchip is the mark of the beast? How can you not see that Yahweh's the Lord's name is Yahweh and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai? How can you not see that Esau is the so-called white man, right? How can you not see that Esau, so-called white man, is made for destruction, and he's the wicked one, and he cannot be saved, right? So if you're speaking anything outside of that, then, man, I wouldn't want to be you. I would not want to be you, right? Verse 10, they build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. Yeah, because that's what they're doing, unfortunately. But unfortunately, that's supposed to happen anyways, because the 2/3 have to get destroyed because they're just too far gone. This is all prophecy. It's all prophecy. But we still have to preach and tell you what you're doing is wrong, because that's our job. Verse 11, the heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord Yahweh and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. For example, you got Nate. I didn't even know about this because I'm still young in the truth. I'm still learning. But the elder of our camp was saying that Nate sells breakdowns. I'm not sure if he still does that, but I was told that he sells breakdowns. Like, that's crazy. You're selling breakdowns? Yahushua never said to sell breakdowns and sell food to his sheep. He said to feed the sheep. You're selling breakdowns? That's what you're doing? Oh, wow. You know, and he's, for example, then you have, you know, the other people like those evangelist church prophets or priests or whatever you want to call them that have billions of dollars. You know, they just do it for money. That's all it is. It's all carnal. But they had to say at the same time they believe that Yahushua, the Lord, is with them. You know, they think they're blessed. It's crazy. The last verse. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field. Yup. And Jerusalem shall become heaps of dead bodies. And the mountain of the house as the high places of the forest. So the high places of the forest is like very high, the top. right? That can see everything, right? So the mountain of the Most High is the high place of the forest. You know, there's the elect, because the elect are going to be the highest of Israel. They're the chosen of the chosen, right? They're the highest, right? Holy, the holy mountain, right? Now, there is a, here we go. It's a precept to that. Micah 4:2, and many nations shall come and say, come, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, and to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and he will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Right? Another one is Ezekiel 43:12. Ezekiel 43:12. This is the law of the house. Upon the top of the mountain, the whole limit thereof round about shall be most holy. Behold, this is the law of the house. Right? So that's it on that. I don't want to go too far, just make it straight to the point. But yeah, the earth being out of course, you can go so many directions with that. The whole earth is out of course. So you can talk about that all day long. There can be so many videos based off of that. Just want to talk about Israel because Israel needs to know what they're doing is wrong. It's just plain wrong. You know, I hope this lesson was edifying. I'd like to close off by saying, Ka halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to this wicked kingdom and the 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharallah, Abal Dabal, Shalom.